It started as the happiest day of their lives. Children singing, teachers smiling, parents waving goodbye. But by nightfall, the same road carried cries, broken glass, and shattered dreams. What went wrong? And what lesson must we never forget? The morning was filled with excitement. The school compound buzzed with life. Laughter, chatter, footsteps rushing in every direction. It was the long-awaited school picnic excursion. Not just a trip, but a celebration. A day of food, fun, games, and freedom. The students gathered with bright eyes and restless hearts. Bags slung over their shoulders. Bags packed not with textbooks, but with snacks, drinks, fruits, and toys. Some carried mats to spread under trees. Some clutched footballs. Others held skipping ropes. A few carried board games. Teachers moved about, checking names, making sure no one was left behind. Parents stood by the school gate, smiling proudly, waving goodbye. And there it was, the big bus. Its engine rumbled steadily, a mighty beast ready to carry them on their adventure. The children scrambled inside, the bus filled with chatter and squeals of joy. And with a loud roar, the journey began. The road stretched before them, long and open. Trees stood tall on either side, their branches dancing in the morning breeze. Inside the bus, the children sang. They clapped. They laughed. One group started a game of who can sing louder, their voices echoing through the vehicle. Another group shared snacks, passing around biscuits and sweets long before they even reached their destination. The teachers tried to quiet them, but they couldn't help smiling. The joy was infectious. The bus rolled on. The sky was wide and blue. The world felt perfect. At last, the bus slowed. They had arrived. The picnic ground stretched out before them, a wide, open field of soft green grass. Tall trees stood around, offering cool shade. Birds circled above, chirping as though welcoming the children. And just beyond the trees was a small stream, its water sparkling under the sunlight. The children burst out of the bus like a wave. Their voices rose in laughter. Their feet raced across the grass. Mats were spread under the trees. Baskets and bags were unpacked. Soon, the air was filled with the delicious aroma of food. Fried rice, jollof rice, chicken, meat pies, buns, and cold drinks. The children ate in groups, sharing their food, teasing one another, trading snacks. One girl said, "I'll give you my puff puff if you give me your meat pie." The boys laughed loudly, stuffing their mouths faster than they could chew. The teachers, too, joined in. They sat under a large tree, sipping drinks, watching their students with smiles. After the meal, the games began. A football was kicked into the air, and soon, half the boys were chasing it across the field. Their laughter echoed. Their shouts rang out as goals were scored. Nearby, a group of girls played skipping rope. The rope slapped the ground in rhythm. Their feet moved quickly. Their laughter grew louder each time one of them stumbled. Another group started sack races. Children climbed into large sacks, jumping forward clumsily, falling and rolling in the grass, while others cheered and clapped. Under one of the trees, a teacher strummed a guitar. The students gathered around, clapping and singing along. Songs rose into the air, songs of joy, of freedom. Some children lay on their mats, talking in hushed voices, pointing at clouds and laughing at the shapes they saw. One boy stretched out lazily and said, "I wish every school day was like this." And his friends nodded in agreement. It was pure joy, a day that felt endless, a day no one wanted to leave. But the sun, though bright, began its slow descent. The sky turned golden, the shadows grew longer, and the teachers clapped their hands, calling everyone back. "Pack your things. Time to go home." Reluctantly, the children folded their mats, packed their leftover snacks, gathered their bottles and toys. They waved goodbye to the field, to the trees, to the little stream, and one by one, they climbed back into the bus. The return journey began quietly. The children were tired. Some leaned against the windows, their eyes closing in sleep. Some continued munching on leftover snacks. A few hummed songs softly, their voices faint. The teachers, though weary, sat with satisfied smiles. The driver kept his focus steady on the road. The bus rolled smoothly along the highway. The world outside grew darker. The air grew still. But life is unpredictable, and the road hides its secrets. Just ahead, a sharp bend, and from the opposite side, a truck speeding recklessly. The bus turned. The truck loomed closer. And in one shattering instant, tires screeched, metal groaned, glass exploded, children's laughter turned into screams. The bus flipped once, twice, then silence. The dust hung in the air. The ground was littered with bags, shoes, scattered food containers. The cries of the injured filled the night. Some children never cried again. Others moaned, calling faintly for help. Teachers lay helpless, their faces pale. The road that carried laughter in the morning was now soaked with sorrow. Sirens pierced the night. Ambulances rushed to the scene. Survivors were lifted gently, their bodies broken, their voices trembling. Hospitals filled with the sound of weeping. Parents who waved proudly that morning now collapsed in grief, clutching their children's hands, begging God to save them. Some children opened their eyes slowly, bandages covering their wounds. Tears rolled silently down their cheeks. One whispered weakly, "I remember the games. I remember the singing." Then his voice broke into sobs. Another whispered to her mother, "Mama, we were so happy." Then everything went dark. The survivors carried more than broken bones. They carried memories. Memories of joy that turned into sorrow in a heartbeat. And so the lesson unfolds. Life is fragile. Life is unpredictable. A day that begins with laughter can end in silence. A journey that starts with joy can end in tears. This is why prayer matters. Prayer does not mean life will always be easy. It does not mean tragedy will never come. But prayer places your journey in the hands of God. Prayer is surrender. It is saying, "Lord, I don't know what waits ahead, but you do. Go with me." Because no matter how strong the bus, no matter how skilled the driver, no matter how short the journey, only God sees the end from the beginning. So, beloved, before you travel, pray. Before you start your car, before you climb into a bus, before you take a flight, pray. Because prayer may not always change the road, but prayer will always keep you in the safest hands. The children who survived will never forget that picnic. They will always remember the games, the laughter, the food, the joy, and how quickly it all changed. And now, their story speaks to us. A reminder, a warning, a call to always seek God's covering. The picnic began with laughter. It ended with tears. And in between lies the truth that life is a fragile gift, and every journey needs prayer. So never forget, never ignore it. Always pray before you go. Thanks for watching. Please kindly like, comment your thought about this video, share, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.